Hey, what's up? What's up? This is Steven. You're watching Culture Pop. So make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit that bell notifications, and we will be getting into it right now. But first, again, make sure you like, share, subscribe. I need everyone to like this video, share it, put it out there, give it to your friends, because there's some news. And I know you may or may not know this, because I'm a little late. I admit, been busy. But Racheal Zegler may or may not have been dropped from Disney's Snow White or Disney altogether. Who knows? Remember I said on the last video, if you saw that, hey, Racheal Zegler, this may not be good for Disney. This may not be good for Racheal Zegler. That was my title of the last Racheal Zegler video. Very successful. And so I want you guys to share and like this one too, because this is pretty interesting. Because Racheal Zegler dropped from Disney's Snow. Basically, the title is "Was Racheal Zegler dropped from Disney's Snow White?" Viral article claim explored. So this is Racheal. If you guys don't know, she's not the worst looking person in the world. She just looks funny in a Snow White outfit. That's all. If I was on set, I would have been laughing at her. Would have been laughing at her the whole time because she looks silly. And then Snow White, I don't know why she does. Maybe it's just the way they took the picture. The picture on the right looks fine, you know. But yeah, so American actress and singer Racheal Zegler was all set to play the leading role of Snow White in 2024, Disney's live-action movie adaptation of the 1937 animated Disney film. However, on Monday, the 25th, a Disney fan blog called Inside the Magic published an article with the headline. All right, so Disney fan blog. So again, you can't always go what blogs say. So far, Disney has neither confirmed nor denied the claim, but Inside the Magic stated that a certain TikTok video was the source behind the alleged firing. It further added that there was no source stated for this information in the video. So it is still a reported statement and not fully confirmed, which I suspected, especially if it's coming from a random blog, a fan blog at that. Who knows? Now, if it's a fan blog, like they're like super fans, it's possible that they're actually serious about like what's actually going on. They may have some inside information. A lot of people who are fans of Disney may have friends or people who they know work for Disney. I've known people who work for Disney, at least at Disneyland. I don't know. But you get my point. There's always that network, right, of super fans. So if you have a super fan friend, you can get them to like tell you all the ins and outs and the secrets. If they worked on a set, anything, or somebody works on a set and they're fans and they have a blog, that's possible. And they hear things from an actual director or producer passing by, or some talks from the higher ups to higher executives. Who really knows, right? It's possible, but it's still a claim at the end of the day. And so it's possible that Racheal Zegler has been dropped from the cast Snow White, and someone else is going to replace her in the anonymous role, or it may be just a hoax, which I suspect. I feel like Disney's not smart enough to fire her, so we'll find out. A TikTok video over 2.4 million views first claimed Racheal Zegler's alleged exit from Snow White. Let's check out this video real quick.
She was starring in. Racheal has been problematic really since the beginning of her career. Not only on set, rumors of her behavior and how unlikable she was to work with, but also you can see that privilege.
I'm going to replay this. Wait one sec. So I'm going to play this again because I had some audio issues earlier.
Let's talk about.
So let's see.
Racheal Zegler for a moment, who did star in. She's an actress who did star in the remake of West Side Story by Steven Spielberg. And she's recently been fired from Disney's remake Snow White that she was starring in. Racheal has been problematic really since the beginning of her career. Not only on
Full
set,
screen.
rumors of her behavior and
All
how
right.
unlikable
Yeah, it's very
she
unlikable.
was to work with, but also you can see that privilege and personality come out in some of the interviews in West Side Story. Fortunately for
Agreed.
her,
I
because
didn't know she played
most
on
of
West Side
those
Story. I
interviews
didn't ever saw that
were
version.
cast
All in Spanish. I didn't like it.
interviews,
I like the idea.
she
That was a bad move on
slightly went
Steven
under the
Spielberg's part.
radar in terms of how unlikable she was. And she
No
is
subtitles.
one
All Spanish and
of
subtitles.
the
No subtitles.
reasons why
Silly.
there was a lot of controversy in West Side Story. But cut to Disney and their decision to fire her. Great on them, and I'll tell you why. Unfortunately, she
That's a real
is
Disney fan right there.
so
A real Disney
irritating
fan
to
will want
listen
the real
to
Disney.
in interviews. She's so privileged and so woke that Disney has got so much kickback from how vile her interviews are and how unlikable her personality is,
Very unlikable.
that they've actually fired her to the tune
That's-
of hundreds
if
of
it's true,
thousands
that
to
would be
millions
crazy.
of dollars at a loss for Disney.
That would be a loss to Disney
Hats
for sure.
off to Disney
but
for finally
just do it. Just
doing
fire.
the
Who
right
cares?
thing in
If
terms
it's
of
true.
getting rid of privileged, holier than thou, big mouth actresses or actors who actually ruin your product. Look at your
Agree.
executive team and really look at the contracts in which actors and actresses sign. There are
This
so
video went
many
viral, so
talented actors and
that's why a lot of people are
actresses
talking
who
about
want to
it.
work. Disney has created some of the best films of all time. Actors and actresses who should be so in love with the film and the chance to work for Disney. And thank you, Disney, for doing this. We're interested in your professionalism and your talent. And your professionalism on set and off set is as important as your talent. You are a small portion of a huge business and a huge employee base for one film.
One film.
Racheal herself has gone and cost Disney hundreds of thousands to now millions of dollars.
I say billions.
It is totally over. People do not want this kind of personality
Are you kidding me?
to succeed
Not that movie,
or any way benefit from their personal dollars.
Yep.
And that's exactly what Racheal's PR nonsense did for Snow White. Now, Disney has other problems they need to address, and I'm going to address those in another video. However, good on you for getting rid of somebody who doesn't deserve not only the praise and the fame and the money that comes along with the privilege of working in a multi-million-dollar franchise. When this strike is over, because there are tons of actors and actresses who want to work for Disney and who are professional on set and off set. You know, we're so used to be hearing scandal after scandal. And there are so many actors and actresses, some of the greatest of all time, who've never been in a scandal once in their entire life. And we need a new Hollywood. We reset the bar. Disney, you're doing it.
Professionalism
one person at a time. Good on you.
Actors. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Professionalism is just not there. It's just not there anymore. I don't know why they feel the need to wait to fire her. That they filmed the whole movie and the movie was pretty much, I guess, I'm not sure if it was ready, but the movie was pretty much done, right? Everything's good, and then she get fired because she just has such bad PR. And Disney already made a mistake for not hiring actual doors for the role, and Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs versus Snow White and the Magical Creatures. That was their first mistake because they listened to that stupid, what's his name, that dwarf guy, the king of dwarf, the king of dwarfs. I can't think of his name right now. But yeah, you know what I'm talking about, the guy, the Game of Thrones guy. So Disney made a mistake on that one. Disney already had a schedule by themselves. They already made a scandal by themselves, and his name is in my head. I can't get it out. It's there somewhere. So continuing, a TikTok video with over 2.4 million views on as of Monday first reported over the weekend that actress Racheal Zegler, who was supposed to play the role of Snow White in Disney's 2024 film of the same name, has been officially fired. Later, the same was reported by the Disney fan blog Inside the Magic on Monday. So, yeah, play blah blah blah. Been officially fired, has been so basically, who was supposed to play the role officially? So they say officially fired, right? So I guess this is based on the fan, though, right? I'm not sure. I didn't see any other sources besides that guy. So we'll see. However, none of the above reports have officially been confirmed by Disney, nor has Racheal Zegler commented on them, so it may or may not be true. Meanwhile, as soon as this piece of news surfaced on the internet, people have been speculating that Racheal Zegler's alleged firing is directly linked to her 2022 controversial interview with garnered enough traction online, right? And this is obviously the interview. I'm not going to play it because so many people have played it, but you get my point. And the wake of the latest claim, at the least two sets of remarks resurfaced on social media. The first one is from a video interview with Variety, which took place during a Disney Fan Expo called D23 in early September 2022. In that interview, Racheal Zegler began by saying how elated she was to see her name on the cast of the upcoming show Snow White movie. The upcoming Snow White movie. So, however, when she was asked about the story's modern edge, which she mentioned on stage at the expo, she responded, I quote, "I just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that she is not going to be saved by the prince, and she is not going to be dreaming about true love." A comment from Asha, this is where that is. Racheal Zegler got fired from Disney Laugh Out Loud. All right. And Zegler further continued by saying how the new Snow White would dream about becoming the leader that her late father wanted her to be, a leader who was fearless, fair, brave, and true. She added how the story was incredible, especially for all young people around the world. Meanwhile, Gal Gadot, who played the role of the evil queen in the film, seemed to echo her thoughts. Yeah, I have my thoughts about that. I think Gal Gadot is just trying to look good in front of the camera. I don't think she really cares personally. Most of the movies that she's been on, I haven't had much problems with it. There's a new movie from a new movie on Netflix that she played. She's like a spy or some type of a double agent, and it's a really good movie. And no politics on it. No weird stuff. No preaching to anybody. Just yeah, she's a strong woman, but it's more believable than the Snow White movie. Let's put it that way. Likewise, in an interview with Entertainment Weekly in late September 2022, Racheal said that the 1930 film animated Disney version of Snow White scared her, and the new one will not be anything like that. Zegler mentioned how the 85-year-old cartoon was extremely dated, especially with its portrayal of women, which makes no sense because, I mean, what Woman Want hasn't changed that much overall. if you look actually globally, since she said around the world, globally, women are pretty much the same. They just have more technology, more access to social media, more access to getting likes, things like that. So, and they have more, they're pushed more into careers that they may or may not need. But just kind of the changing of times, and doesn't mean that women don't dream about similar things. Why do you think Princess Kate and getting it was so popular? Because she married a prince. She was a kind of nobody, and then she went up the ranks, and she got to marry Prince William, and that was a huge wedding. I think it was 2012. I watched it live with my sister, I think, at that time. Wasn't that interested, but I figured I watched that one. And then the what's her name, the other princess that nobody likes, the one that played on, I think it was Suits or something like that. She married Prince Harry. I can't think of her name right now. So this is how unimportant she is. But you get my point. So the princess thing has always been a thing. People have always been like, girls have always loved the idea of princesses. Princesses have never not been a thing. Snow White has never not been a thing. The classic Snow White has always been a thing. Girls dream about true love, no matter what they say. At least when they're young. And then when they get older, who knows? And then they get their careers. They get a little bit rough around the edges. Because of life. But that's the modern world we live in. And hey, it was tough back then too. But girls, they're just slightly more, I guess, feminine back then, so that maybe that was just a part of the culture. But it's okay if it's a period piece, especially if you're playing Snow White, who technically is in a period where there are like castles, dragons, and things like that. That in and of itself would be culturally relevant to the time that Snow White would be in that fantasy. Is based on the medieval times or that era. So I think that in and of itself, doesn't matter if the film was made in 1937 or 2003 or 2023, it's still based on the past, like medieval times, right? So I think even that argument is stupid, because if you watch Game of Thrones, for example, they were in the times they were in, and they acted the way those people would act in those days in Europe. So continuing, quote, the reality is, Snow White has to learn a lot of lessons about coming into her own power before she can come into power over a kingdom, she stated. So yeah, and this interview is funny, but I won't play it. But I see Gal Gadot just kind of playing along. But sharing the same spirit, Gadot added that in 2024 film, Snow White was going to be proactive, where she would be the one to set her own terms and not be saved by the prince, making it relevant in today's times. Therefore, it is important to note that if Racheal Zegler has alleged been fired from the cast of Snow White for her progressive comments, Gal Gadot too stands a similar risk. I agree, but I think Gal Gadot is just too important to like. They can just get rid of the movie. They can just drop the movie, but I don't think they need to like. If Gal Gadot gets fired, she'll just get picked up by some other movie or whatever. Like she's just on a Netflix movie. It doesn't matter. I think Gal Gadot is just playing along. I don't think she actually believes what she's saying. I do kind of think I think she thinks like she lives it in a way, like she's like an independent woman, But at the same time, I don't think she actually cares that much about Snow. Like if this was the classic version of Snow White, Gal Gadot wouldn't care, right? I think she's just going along with the way Disney decided to write the script. She's just kind of supporting Racheal Zegler, just kind of, how girls do. They support each other when they don't need to. At the wrong times, right? So another comment, did you get fired from Disney due to your insufferable and unlikable personality? To quote, well, that's Hollywood, baby. So that's what a commenter said. Carl Wilcox. So last month, a false claim emerged on social media platforms that Snow White had been canceled by Disney. Not only that, but a satirical Disney news site called Mousetrap News reported the same, stating that Disney was financially struggling And on top of that, Racheal Zegler and cast were creating controversies, but no confirmation came. As per original schedule, the movie is set for March 22, 2024, worldwide premiere. And so I will be ending this for now. So I hope you guys like that. This is not, I'm not sure if this is considered news because it's unconfirmed news. But until we find out the truth about what happened, please like, share, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, and we will be back for more. Until next time. Peace.